Careful, mind your back.
Lay her down over here.
Poor little slip of a thing. How old would you say? 19, 20?
I don't know. I'm not good with ages. Thank God it's just the one this time.
Just the one what?
Nothing. Not important.
Well, can you telegraph for help from there?
Someone should be here to collect the body in an hour or so. You should continue with your journey. The train's overdue as it is. Don't worry, Tom. I'll watch over her. She'll not be alone.
Thank you. What do you think it was killed her? Heart attack? I had an uncle drop dead from a brain aneurysm 1st March 1855. It was right in the middle of his 50th birthday party. 1 minute fine, the next dead, just like... Well, just like her.
I don't know what killed her. I just saw something happening in one of the carriages. That's when I signaled you to stop.
You must have sharp eyes, man, to spot that at the speed we were travelling.
Not really. I was expecting it.
Expecting it?
Yes. I knew someone was going to die on this line tonight.
We present The Signalman by Charles Dickens.
Travel is the best medicine, Spencer. You should see something of the world. Visit the home of your ancestors. Take plenty of long walks. It'll be good for you. Long walks. Oh, it's dark, it's cold, and I haven't seen another human being in nearly 2 hours. Right over a railway tunnel, and I haven't even seen any trains. Hey, wait a minute. Looks like I'm not so alone after all. Hello, below there! Hello, below! Yes, you, the signalman. Is there any way I can come down there? What's the matter with him? Is he deaf? I said, is there any way... Oh, over there. There's a path over there. Well, could you shine a light on for me? Thanks. I'll be down in a minute. Spencer, what the devil do you think you're doing? Are you so desperate for company that you're willing to break your neck? Why do you want to talk to him anyway? He almost certainly doesn't want to talk to you. Whoa!
You all right?
Well, I don't know. Let me see. No bones broken. I guess I'm fine. Can you help me up, please? I said, can you help me?
Here. Take my hand.
Thank you.
You're real.
Real? Of course I'm real. What do you mean? Did you think I was some sort of clumsy ghost?
Get back.
What did you say? Get back! Oh, I see.
Lot of accidents on this line.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the latest. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
This must be a lonesome post to occupy.
Lonesome?
Well, it's just you in that little hut, isn't it? Not much of a view, either. The tunnel and the red light. I imagine you don't get much sunlight down here. It's like being on another world. Is looking after the light part of your duties?
Don't you know it is?
No. I'm afraid I don't know anything about trains. Don't even know what it means when you wave that flag. Obviously, it's a signal, because you're the signal man.
You're American.
For my sins. Spencer de Vries is the name, and you are...
I'm the signalman.
Ah, of course. You still look at me like you were in dread of me.
I'm wondering whether I've seen you before.
I don't think so. I'm new to the area, just visiting. Where do you think you might have seen me before?
Down there. By the red light.
What would I be doing down there?
Nothing. Please forgive me.
After saving my hide, it's the least I can do.
Come inside the signal box. It's not much, but it keeps the rain off.
It's not raining.
It will. Sit down, sir, please. Warm yourself by the fire if you're cold. A visitor is a rarity on this line.
Not an unwelcome one, I trust. Well, this is nice. Very nice. You have much to do here?
I have enough responsibility to bear. But exactness and watchfulness are what's required of me. Of actual work, manual labour, I mean, I have next to none. To change that signal, to trim those lights, and to turn this handle now and then. That's all I have to do under that head.
And you have to stay on duty down here all the time?
That's right, sir.
Well, can't you ever climb up the path and enjoy the sunshine?
It depends on times and circumstances. Sometimes there'll be less traffic upon the line than at other times. But I'm always liable to be called by that electric bell, so whenever I go up top, I'm always anxious in case I miss it. The relief is less than you might suppose.
Sounds like I was right when I said this must be a lonesome post.
It's shaped into this form. I've grown used to it.
Well, how do you pass the time?
I taught myself French, for one thing.
Oh, French. Good for you.
I know it by sight, at any rate, but I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. And I pass the time by working with fractions and decimals, a little algebra. As a boy, I was always very poor at figures.
Me too. And worse still at French. Forgive me for asking, but what's a man who has the intelligence to dabble in algebra and teach himself another language doing in this job? I'd say you were educated above your station.
Station? Is that a joke?
A joke? I don't think so. It isn't meant to be.
Perhaps you're right about me, sir. Once, when I was a much younger man, I was a student of natural philosophy.
So what happened?
I ran wild, misused my opportunities, went down and never rose again.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to be. I'm not. I've made my bed and I lie upon it. And it's far too late to make myself another. Far too late. I'm nothing at all special, sir. Nothing but what you find. And I have no complaint to offer about that.
My goodness. You almost make me think I've met with a contented man.
I believe I used to be contented. But now I'm troubled.
Troubled?
Not again. No, not again.
What? What is it? What's the matter? Where are you going?
Oh, God. Sweet, merciful God, have pity on me.
Are you... Is anything wrong? Can I help?
Help? Do you see anyone?
Anyone? No, just you. What am I supposed to see?
Oh. Nothing. My mistake.
So, are you going to tell me what all that was about?
I beg your pardon, sir.
The way you bolted out of here like the devil himself was on your tail. I assume that's not part of your regular duties.
You'd be right in assuming that, sir.
You said you were a troubled man. Does what just happened have anything to do with that? And why you acted like you thought I was a ghost? That is what you thought, isn't it?
Why did you come here?
I recently suffered a loss, a bereavement. My family suggested that a few months out of the country...
Why did you come here, sir? To this stretch of railway line? To my signal box?
I don't know. I was bored, restless, lonely. I got tired of listening to my own thoughts rattling around inside my head.
And when you saw me tonight, what made you cry out, "Hello, below there"?
What made me? I have no idea. I don't even remember precisely what I said. It may have been something to the effect...
Not to that effect, sir. Those were the exact words. Trust me. I know them very well.
Well, if you say so. Well, I suppose I said hello below because I wanted to say hello and you were below.
No other reason.
Of course not. What other reason could there be?
You didn't feel that those words were conveyed to you in any supernatural way?
No. Supernatural? What are you talking about?
It is very difficult to impart, sir. It is very, very difficult to speak of. If you ever make me another visit, I will try to tell you.
If you insist, I'll make you another visit then. When shall it be?
I'll be on duty again at 10 tomorrow night, sir.
Well, then I'll come at 11.
And I'll be waiting for you. I'll show my light to guide you down. But when you've found it, don't call out. And when you're at the top, don't call out. I beg of you.
Don't call out. Got it. I promise. Till tomorrow night, then.
Take care on your way home, Mr. De Vries.
Excuse me. I didn't get your name. Unusual fellow. What could be so disturbing that he can't speak? What the dickens?
Come inside the signal box. It's not much, but it keeps the rain off.
It's not raining.
It will.
Incredible. Well, I didn't call out. Can I speak now?
By all means, Mr. De Vries. Good evening to you. Come inside. Sit down by the fire.
More rain tonight?
No, not tonight, I think. Please sit. A cup of tea, sir.
That'd be very welcome. Thank you. So...
I've made up my mind, sir, that you shall not have to ask me twice what troubles me. The truth is, I took you for someone else yesterday evening. That troubles me.
The mistake? I think nothing of it.
No, not the mistake. The someone else.
Who is it?
I don't know.
But he looks like me.
I don't know. I've never seen him. It. Clearly. His left arm is across his face. He waves his right arm. Waves it violently, like this.
As though he's trying to say, get out of my way, but this someone, you think he's a ghost.
One moonlit night, I was sitting here when I heard a voice cry, "Hello, below there!" I started up, looked from that door, and saw this someone standing by the red light near the tunnel, waving as I just now showed you. The voice seemed hoarse with shouting, and it cried, look out, and then once more, "Hello, below there." I caught up my lamp, turned it on red, and ran towards the figure, calling, "What's wrong? What happened? Where?" He stood just outside the blackness of the tunnel. I came so close upon him that I wondered at him keeping his sleeve across his eyes. I ran right up to him, and had my hand stretched out to pull the sleeve away, when he was gone.
Gone where? Into the tunnel?
No. I ran on into the tunnel 500 yards, but there was not a sign of him. I stopped, held my lamp above my head, and saw the figures of the measured distance, and saw the wet stains stealing down the walls and trickling through the arch. I ran out again faster than I'd run in, and I looked all round the red light, and I went up the iron ladder to the gallery atop of it, and I came down again and ran back here. I telegraphed both ways, "An alarm has been given. Is anything wrong?" The answer came back both ways. All well.
Good Lord.
So, you see.
But if the other signal boxes reported nothing wrong, then... Well, forgive me, but don't you think it might just have been your imagination? I can understand how it might run away with you, working down here.
I saw him as clearly as I see you. That's why I thought you were he last night.
Look, I don't know much about medicine, but I've seen a good many doctors in my time, and I'm certain that they tell you you're suffering from some sort of deception of your sense of sight. Probably a disease of the delicate nerves that minister to the functions of your eyes.
No, sir.
Yes, I think I've read about it. Some patients who'd become conscious of the nature of their afflictions even proved it by experiments upon themselves.
I didn't just see him. I heard him. He spoke to me.
Well, as to that, just listen for a moment to the wind in this unnatural valley, to the wild harp it makes of the telegraph wires.
I've passed many long winter nights here, alone and watching. I ought to know something of the wind and the wires.
But if a person is alone for a long enough time, they can start to imagine all sorts of...
Forgive me, sir, but I have more to tell.
I apologize. Please continue.
Within 6 hours after the appearance, there was a memorable accident on this line. And within 10 hours, the dead and wounded were brought along through the tunnel over the spot where the figure had stood.
That's a remarkable coincidence, to be sure, but it is unquestionable that remarkable coincidences do continually occur, and they must be taken into account in dealing with such a subject. Though, to be sure, I must admit, men of common sense don't allow much for coincidences in making the ordinary calculations of life.
My experience and the accident happened just a year ago, September 1859. 6 or 7 months passed, and I'd recovered from the surprise and shock, when one morning, as day was breaking, I was standing at the door, and as I looked towards the red light, I saw the spectre again.
The same as before? His left arm over his face and his right arm waving furiously?
Not quite. He leaned against the shaft of the light, with both hands before his face. I've seen such an attitude in stone figures on tombs. It was an action of mourning.
But did he call out this time?
No. He was silent.
What did you do? Did you try to speak to him?
The very sight of him turned me faint. I ran back in here, tried to collect my thoughts. Believe me, sir, collecting them took a long time. When I finally built up the courage to open the door again, daylight was above me, and the ghost was gone.
But nothing followed? Nothing came of this?
That very day, as a train came out of the tunnel, I noticed at a carriage window on my side what looked like a confusion of hands and heads. I saw it just in time to signal the driver to stop. He shut off and put his brake on, but the train drifted past here 150 yards or more. I ran after it, and as I went along I heard terrible screams and cries. A beautiful young lady had died in one of the compartments. We brought her in here, the driver and I, and laid her down on this floor between us.
Right here?
Precisely as it happened, so I tell it you. Now, sir, mark this and judge how my mind is troubled. The spectre came back a week ago. Ever since, it has been there, now and again, by fits and starts.
At the light?
At the danger light.
And what does it seem to do?
It calls to me. For many minutes together, in an agonized manner. Below there, look out, look out! It stands waving to me. It rings the bell here in the signal box.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Did it ring your bell yesterday evening when I was here and you went outside in a wild panic? You asked me whether I could see anyone.
Yes. It rang then. I knew it was him.
Well, that settles it. Your imagination misleads you. My eyes were on the bell, and my ears were open to the bell, and if I am a living man, it did not ring while I was here last night.
You seem very sure, sir.
I trust the evidence of my own eyes and ears.
Yes, sir, and so do I. I have never confused the spectre's ring with a man's. The ghost's ring is a strange vibration in the bell that it derives from nothing else, and I never said that it stirs to the eye. I don't wonder that you failed to hear it, but I heard it. I have never made a mistake as to that yet, sir.
And the spectre, he seemed to be there when you looked out?
No, sir.
No?
He didn't seem to be there. He was there.
Oh.
By this time you will fully understand, sir, that what troubles me so dreadfully is the question, what does the spectre mean?
What do you mean, what does he mean?
What is he warning against? What is the danger? Where is the danger? Some dreadful calamity will happen somewhere on this line. It is not to be doubted this third time after what's gone before. But surely this is a cruel haunting of me. What can I do? If I telegraph danger on either side of me or on both, I can give no reason for it. I would be disbelieved, and what good would that do? They'd think I was mad, you see. Message, danger, take care. Answer, what danger, where? Message, don't know, but for God's sake, take care. They displace me. What else could they do? What can I do? When it first stood under the danger light, why not tell me where that accident was to happen, if it must happen? Why not tell me how it could be averted, if it could have been averted? On its second coming, why not tell me she is going to die? Let them keep her at home. You believe me, don't you, sir? Tell me you believe me.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Of course not. Why would you?
Please, understand, I believe that you believe it, but when my wife died, my poor Isabella, I hoped and prayed to see her spirit, to know that she was safe in the afterworld. But I never saw her, not even in my dreams. Forgive me for sounding harsh, but what makes you, a mere signal man on an undistinguished stretch of track, so special?
I don't know, sir. I only wish I did. Believe me, I've asked that same question over and over. If it came on those 2 occasions only to show me that its warnings were true, and so to prepare me for the third, why not warn me plainly now? Why not go to somebody with credit to be believed and power to act? Perhaps he wanted me to tell you. Perhaps you're the man who can do something, who can avert this tragedy. Will you help me, sir?
I do believe you're in need of help, but not the way you mean. If I come with you now, will you look for him?
All right.
Well, I see the danger light, and I can see the dismal mouth of the tunnel. I see the high, wet stone walls of the cutting. I see the stars, but I don't see any spectre. Do you?
No. He's not here.
Agreed. I know some doctors in London. I want you to see them. I'll accompany you. I'll meet all the expenses. They can help you. I'm sure of it. You must see it's for the best. Not just for your own peace of mind, but for the safety of the passengers on this line.
Sir, every time I've seen that
Not
figure...
every time. You saw him last night, and there hadn't been a tragedy, has there? Yes. Accidents happen on the railways. It's terrible, but it's true. Now, in the morning, I'm going to send a wire to London. Make all the arrangements. I want you to promise that you'll take a leave of absence from your post and come with me, please.
If you insist, sir.
Good man. Now, I'll be back tomorrow night to sort out the details, and I don't want any more of this don't call out nonsense. I could say what I like as loud as I like, and it wouldn't make any difference. You'll understand that soon.
As it happens, sir, there's to be a change in my time of duty tomorrow night. I'll be off an hour or two after sunrise and on again soon after sunset.
Fine. Then I'll be here after sunset. Have courage, my friend. I guarantee that by this time next week you won't have to worry about that spectre ever again.
Hello! Below there! Look out! Look out! For God's sake, clear the way!
What the devil? Hey! What's going on down there? You there, what's going on? Never mind, I'm coming down.
Careful, sir. You could have broken your neck.
The devil with my neck. What's going on here? Why has the train stopped?
Well, there's been an accident, a fatality.
Good God. Where's the signalman?
You have to understand, I did everything I could. You must believe me.
What are you talking about? Where's the signalman?
He's dead, sir.
Dead.
I'm sorry.
The signalman I know. The signalman who works in that box.
Oh, if you know him, sir, you'll recognize him. His face is quite composed. I'll not look at it if you don't mind.
Oh, no. No, no, no. How can this be? How did this happen?
I did everything I could. You must believe me.
Stop saying that and tell me what happened.
He was cut down by an engine, sir. My engine. No man in England knew his work better. But somehow, he wasn't clear of the outer rail. It was just at broad day. He had the lamp in his hand, and we were just coming round the curve in the tunnel. I saw him at the end, like as if I saw him down a perspective glass. His back was toward us, and there was no time to check speed. I knew him to be very careful, but he didn't seem to heed the whistle, so I shut it off when we were running down upon him and called out to him as loud as I could call.
You called out. What did you say?
I said, "Hello, below there! Look out! Look out! For God's sake, clear the way!"
Oh, no. It was true. It was all true. May the Lord forgive me.
It was dreadful, sir. I never left off calling to him. I put one arm before my eyes not to see it. I waved my other arm at last, but it was no use.
So, when he turned, he couldn't see your face.
If he turned.
Oh, he turned.
You sound very sure, sir. But if he saw me, why didn't he get out of way?
Terror. Sheer terror. Tell me, do you know whether he had any family?
I don't believe he did, sir.
All right. I'll pay for the funeral. I owe him that much.
That's very generous. You must have been a good friend to him.
We talked. At least, I thought we did. But it turned out that all this time, I wasn't really listening.
Hello! Below there! Look out! Look out! For God's sake, clear the way!
The Signalman by Charles Dickens was adapted for radio by M.J. Eliot. In our cast were John Armstrong, John Patrick Lowry, and Lawrence Albert, who also directed the production.
Hello, and welcome to Imagination Theater. Sit back and get ready to enjoy a movie for your mind.
We present The Shadow in the Stacks by Daniel McGashy.
Here at last, the library of... So sorry. The Library of St. Montague's.
Yes, Dr. Lawrence. One of our older and, I must admit, more forgotten colleges.
You do yourself a disservice, Mr. Purdue. Your far-flung location, and I must say your very lack of fame, is a cause for celebration. A library like this, virtually unchanged in several centuries, is a treasure trove for an antiquarian.
It is true that our institute houses many original texts that in other, more conveniently situated and oft-frequented libraries may have gotten themselves lost or damaged over the years.
Which is why they are jealously guarded. The college is reluctant to the point of rudeness to entrust them to anyone beyond their own precincts, and rightly so. If such strictures preserve these texts for a longer-lasting posterity, I cannot object to travelling the miles from London and decanting myself and my studies to rooms within the locale, if it allows me daily access to the treasured tomes.
That's a kinder view than many take, sir. Greymarsh is hardly the most inviting town for visitors.
Which is entirely to my liking. If I am to gather the fables and folk tales of antiquity, it is better to have the truth of it, and not some sanitized version that has been formulated to please tourists.
In that case, you should be most happy here. Is there anything I can help you with, Dr. Lawrence?
Well, my researches are proceeding apace, Mr. Purdue.
I'm gratified to hear it.
It's me who should be grateful, my man. I proceed apace in many ways, thanks to your excellent knowledge of the library's stock. Some other young librarians could learn a thing or two from you.
I'm but a humble assistant, sir. And as for your...
Oh, hush, come now. You're still a young... not an old man, and I'm happy to say you've retained the enthusiasm of youth. But through experience, you've developed a wonderful knack of knowing just when to express an interest or offer an opinion on my work, and when to hold back and allow me to pursue more solitary trains of thought.
You are most kind. Perhaps overly so.
Nonsense. It is you who are overly modest. And I must once again call on your excellent services in locating some rather elderly texts. Nothing at all exciting, I fear, just some obscure parish records from early last century, which don't appear to be kept on display amongst the main collection. I have the dates listed here.
I don't think I can help. No, I really don't.
Mr. Purdue, the list, you've barely glanced at it.
I'm sorry, Dr. Lawrence, truly. I simply seem unable to place my finger on the whereabouts of those volumes.
You surprise me. I thought you could pinpoint any book in the building in an instant.
Hardly, sir. But if you might excuse me, I have some cataloguing to be done. Perhaps one of my colleagues may be able to assist.
I don't wish to pry, but is something up, old chap?
No, sir, no. Not at all.
Then why are you suddenly so reluctant to help? I can't help but feel you're being deliberately vague about where the records may be kept. Yet I can tell you they're in the basement stockroom.
What? How can you know that?
Your eyes have been constantly flitting toward that door in the corner that I know leads to the basement.
Perhaps they might be down there. I'll have to see what I can do for you later, sir.
Come now, man. You're not afraid to go rooting about in the cellars, surely?
Afraid? Not I.
Please, Purdue, I was joking with you.
Well, I don't see it as much of a joking matter.
There's no need to look so troubled. Good grief, your face is beetroot red. Are you ill?
Must turn key. You must.
Are you quite all right? No. No, I see you aren't. My dear fellow, you're trembling. Let's get you back to a seat. Give me that key and sit. He's surely in a state of terror. His fingers are rigid. But wait, his eyes show a flicker of recognition toward me.
Dr. Lawrence. I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't.
My good friend, tell me the cause of your distress.
Perhaps I must, sir. And as I know you to be a man of honour, I can trust you.
But of course. You may speak freely of anything in front of me.
What I'm about to tell you is something I have never told anyone about, for fear of losing my position, or of being accused of losing my grip on reality. It is an incident from a few years ago, not many years after I had taken this post in the library, All had been well, and I was as content in my job as any man could hope to be. Until one morning, as I arrived outside these doors, ready to open up for the morning students, only to find the place full of activity and my way barred.
Hold fast there, Mr. Purdue. Something's happened, sir. A disturbance in the night. A bad business is my impression. I don't know what I should let you in.
The old porter, a man named Gordon, though I was never certain if that was his Christian name or his surname, was clearly agitated as he placed up signs alerting students to the unexpected closure of the library.
Stand back there.
No one's been hurt. There's been no fire. The walls aren't set to come tumbling down. No. Then I really must be let past. There are certain rare and irreplaceable volumes which I must see and made secure.
They haven't been taken, sir.
They? I don't quite...
If you're referring, sir, if you're referring to those items of uncertain and curious origin, Mr. Purdue, them ones that come out of the pit?
As anyone connected with the college, indeed practically every soul in the surrounding villages, could not have helped but be aware, renovation work in the library cellars had turned up, as Gordon liked to put it, items of uncertain and curious origin. There is a corner of the cellar, which as far back as I can remember, the students have referred to as the haunted crypt. I suppose all old institutions have such legends that are still whispered of.
For the air in that smoke carries the very chill of the tomb. It's well known that strange noises, scrabblings and scratchings are to be heard there. Even the spiders won't build their webs in that place.
And even though no student has had access to the cellars since they had become storerooms for some of our rarer volumes, the rumours persisted, as such stories do. It was here that the discovery was made. Workmen brought in by the Dean to begin construction of a new annex that he had planned to have named in his own honour, had been persuaded to raise a few flagstones in the cellar and satisfy the chief librarian's assertions that the chill and the sounds could be explained by the presence of a subterranean stream, and possibly even a centuries-old sewer, dating back to the time of the castle, under whose ruins the college had been grafted. Much had been whispered in the day or so since then about the odd parcel that was found in the dry hollow below the ground there. On my way to my rooms, as twilight gathered in the previous evening, I heard mutterings.
And I hear it's a trunk of treasure. Gold and jewels.
Treasure chests, more like an entire hidden chamber.
I have it on authority that a human skull was on her.
But the truth of what was found there was neither as spectacular nor as straightforward.
Books? Is that all? But we have books already. It is a library, after all.
The Dean had been summoned within minutes of the find, but even in the short space of time rumours had begun circulating, and, judging by his dissatisfaction, he'd already been rather taken with the notion of a treasure chest.
Was there nothing else?
Apparently not, just these half-dozen volumes found in a sort of oilskin sack, according to the foreman.
They're ugly enough. And heavy enough. What gabble is this? Is this even writing? Worthless.
Actually, sir, judging by their age and condition, I think these may prove to be of inestimable value.
What's that? Valuable, you say? Well then, why are you leaving them out or lying around? Have them put under lock and key. Good grief, man, there are common labourers and Lord knows what else swarming through here. And you tell the librarian to come see me whenever he sees fit to return.
And he had departed happily, his greedy little heart full of joy. That had been the day before, and our next encounter was less joyful. The local sergeant and a constable had arrived by bicycle, which is far easier than a horse and carriage to navigate in the twisting avenues of the university. As my fellow assistants looked on aghast at the tumbled volumes and scattered pages, I spied the dean, the bursar, the chief librarian, and these policemen sitting opposite Gordon. None of them looked happy with whatever the elderly porter was telling them.
This, as I say, is merely my impression.
Oh, do be quiet, would you, man? Purdue, yes, over here. Sharply now.
What followed was an interrogation. What time had I left the library? Had the books been locked away? Where had I gone? Had anyone been loitering? Was the building securely locked?
Who else knew of the discovery?
Practically everyone. It was all round the college.
Yes, but who had actually seen the object?
Well, Professor Clark, yourself, obviously, and the workmen, the other assistants. Yes, and old Harkwell.
An outsider? You showed these valuable artifacts to an outsider? Why was this man informed?
As I explained, a swiftly dispatched note entrusted to the care of a fleet-footed first-year student had brought the equally swift arrival of Mr. Harkwell, the old bookbinder who had been called upon many times over the last 50 years when overly rough student handling had caused the books to buckle and burst.
Yes, just possibly.
Although near blinded by age, his knowledge of the various bindings and papers was so ingrained that he could tell by smell and touch just the right materials. But even this expert craftsman was at a loss.
The texture, it's not leather. I'm almost convinced.
I watched his every move, fingers caressing the spine and cover of the smallest volume which he rotated under his prominent nose, like a man savouring the smell of a fine cigar.
There is a certain familiarity about the smell, but as loath as I am to be defeated after all these years, I must admit it, Purdue.
The old craftsman looked so crestfallen that I felt duty bound to offer some measure of dignity back to him.
You wish me to take this? You're entrusting it to me?
I have all faith that you will find the answer, given time. I insist you take this tome to continue your researches on.
You are a scholar, Mr. Purdue, something of which this college is sadly in short supply.
Oh, can this man be trusted?
What do you find so funny, sir?
I'm sorry, it's the notion of the 87-year-old Mr. Harkwell running rampage through the library. And now, if you're finished with me...
Yes, you may go. I doubt if this gentleman has anything to say that might interest you.
I've always found Mr. Gordon most helpful.
My thanks, Mr. Producer. That is my aim, to help in the smooth running of the college and its facilities.
Helpful, eh? All right, then. Tell this gentleman what you witnessed, then. Let's see how helpful he finds it.
I don't know as I'd say that I'd actually witnessed it, sir, as I couldn't rightly attest that I saw anything too clearly. Rather, it was what I'd say was an impression that I had. I was on my regular rounds, just checking in, and I'd not even the time to turn on the lights when I felt it. That queer, unsettling sensation that some strange eye was regarding me gave me cause to turn my head sharply, though perhaps I might be glad that I wasn't sharp enough to catch full sight of what I believed to have been just behind me. The impression I had was of something crawling just out of sight into the darkness, something that was red and strangely glistening, red and wet, like something that you might see in a butcher's display.
It was at this point that the sergeant lost control of his temper, and in words I won't repeat, questioned the college's policy of employing soft-headed individuals obviously in their dotage.
My people is country people, and in the country, if you want to eat meat, you got to prepare the carcass first, and that's what I was put in mind of. That was, as I say, my impression. Then I saw what a mess was in here, and I raised the alarm.
The sergeant left soon afterwards, his mind set on the notion of high-spirited students indulging in a spot of vandalism and, obviously unwilling to expend any further concern on the matter, opining that it was an issue for the college to deal with swiftly and, if he had any advice to offer, violently. But the same lack of interest was not shared by the students. By the time we had restored a semblance of order and could reopen the doors, a considerable crowd flocked in, many of whom I had never once spied lifting a book, let alone setting foot within the library. That long day consisted mainly of fielding the same questions about the disturbance, while also having to politely listen to all manner of theories to the nature of the criminal.
Only a ghost could have entered without opening a window or door.
Or a magician. Whatever it was that came out of the ground, it wasn't alone.
By 6 o'clock that night, I was exceptionally tired of the students and their comments, and was so looking forward to closing up for the night that I eagerly cantered after a fellow I caught sight of disappearing among the stacks with a "Excuse me, sir, but we're closed" on my lips.
Chasing shadows, are we, Purdue?
And Strather, sorry, what?
There are no students here. I got the last one out not 5 minutes ago, and I've locked the door against last-minute browsers or goppers. Our exalted chief librarian is already gone, so I don't see why we should stay.
My young colleague was right. There was no one else to be seen, apart from my fellow assistants, slotting books on shelves or extinguishing the lamps in the reading rooms. The row into which I had been about to follow the figure was empty.
What is it? What are you looking for?
A shadow? But if it was a shadow, why did it seem so red?
Almost done here.
I spoke nothing of this to my colleagues, convincing myself that some delayed shock from the morning's excitement had triggered my imagination, as it had certainly heightened my own curiosity.
You won't join us at the tavern? Oh, well. Good night, then, Mr. Purdue.
As I bade the others a good evening and began my routine check of the locks, though this was less routine on this night, my mind turned once more to the unearthed and seemingly unearthly books. Had the damage done here been wrought by someone who desired them? Was it someone who perhaps knew their origin and the significance of the strange inscriptions that filled the pages? And how determined was this seeker to claim his prize? Would the locked safe in the library office stand in his way? Indeed, would anything or anyone come between it and its quarry? It. Surely I meant him. I was suddenly keenly aware that I was alone in the darkened room where the very objects this possibly mad intruder sought were to be found. I didn't linger beyond the time it took to grab my hat and overcoat and make my way to the main door. Who?
Mr. Purdue, I've got a message for you.
It was a note summoning me to Harkwell's home above his workshop. Normally I savoured these visits, as the old fellow's bookshelves carried many well-preserved volumes, even older than some in the library, and his collection filled both his house and his shop. Each visit felt like a chance to step back into an almost forgotten world. But the grim look on the messenger's face left me with uneasy thoughts as I hastened into town and through the winding streets. My fears were confirmed when I saw the distraught housekeeper, who hurriedly beckoned me in and up the narrow staircase.
Oh, Mr. Purdue, sir, but I don't know what to tell you or where to start with it, but I should warn you before you see him, sir. I'd be remiss if I didn't.
Warn me, Mrs. Trenchard. Warn me of what?
He's not... well, you may not know him. He may not make any sense.
Mrs. Trenchard, it's you who isn't making sense. Not know him. I've known I've known Mr. Harkwell for years.
Not like this, you've not. Dr. Holstein said it was a fit or the like. His heart's not strong enough to go moving him, but he was determined to see you. Wrote your name, what I could read of it, his hand trembling so.
Wrote it? Can't he speak?
Oh, sir, to see him. And he's only 87.
The reason for the housekeeper's distress became obvious as she opened the door in a dimly lit room and pointed a shaken hand to what I at first took to be an empty bed heaped with discarded linen. Then I saw the pallid face amongst the folds and heard the voice that attempted to speak.
Purdue, lost, gone.
Mr. Harkwell, what has happened to you? How can I possibly help you?
Lost, tried to stop, book, read.
Though his voice was weak, his grip was strong, and he grasped my hand, guiding it onto a bundle of fabric. I recognised it as the cloth I had used to wrap the small volume in when I had presented it to him the day before.
Gone?
The book! Someone took it! Should the police be summoned?
Oh!
He shook his head, vigorously protesting against the thought of the police. I could get no more from him, and made to close the door and leave him to his rest.
Light! Please! Not dark!
I'll open the curtains. Will that help? Just a little, for you must rest. As I allowed the sunlight into the room, his eyes darted, seeking out every corner, as though he didn't entirely trust every shadow to fully retreat. Finally, satisfied, he sank back into a fitful slumber, and I left him to sleep.
Found him when I came up this morning, in here.
His study! His books!
Lying amongst them I found him. He must have brung them all down upon himself when he took his tumble.
The room was awash with papers and books that I'd always seen lovingly presented and preserved. It was as though a storm had blown itself into being in the room and spent its wrath on the books and the bookcases before dying away.
Such a mess, and where I'm to start with it, I don't begin to know.
I picked up one of the scattered books. Its spine was twisted, its leather binding half wrenched off, and there were some rusty stains on the pages, dried, but unmistakable. Blood!
If it is, it's not his, thank the heavens and all who dwell there. He had a bruise or two, but no cuts, unless there was someone else here. Some burglar who attacked the old mister. I've heard there's them who's after rare books loose in the area.
News does travel. But could anyone have gotten in? Was there any sign of a break-in?
Apart from himself and the mess, all was as it should be. But if there had been someone else...
What is it, Mrs. Trenchard?
If he'd surprised someone in the dark here, it would explain the feeling I had when I found him on the floor here.
Yes?
That if he'd had the strength, if he'd had the voice, he would have been screaming.
It does seem that someone desperately wanted those peculiar volumes. If there had been attempted robbery at both the library and in the bookbinder's home.
Only the second wasn't an attempted robbery. The book Harkwell had been working with was gone.
And did you find out why these books were so keenly sought?
That was my first instinct. If there was some clue to be found amongst those ostensibly jumbled scribblings, I had to at least try to locate it. Now, let's just see what it is we set loose in unearth anew. Just the one for now. My eyes were aching within minutes of trying to decipher the cramped writing that filled the pages. But in time I confirmed a suspicion that the garbled text was a mixture of languages. Some Latin, some Greek, Anglo-Saxon, even Danish and runic. I had a hard task ahead of me, but I was equipped with both a library's worth of textbooks to verify the more obscure languages and a healthy dose of stubbornness. But even amongst these alien phrases, there was a name that I recognised, which leapt out of the page. I've heard of you, Nicholas Hobsgate.
Hobsgate? You mean those books belong to that ancient sinner?
The worst of men.
Your description says little, yet succeeds in saying it all. As an antiquarian, I have certainly encountered Sir Nicholas Hobsgate before, though not, I'm very happy to say, in person. From what my own researchers have found, from what little has survived censorious hands through the centuries, Hobsgate was, by inheritance, the lord of the manor. By reputation, a necromancer, a black magician of the vilest habits, a murderer and defiler of tombs. Though I doubt this was even the half of it.
It's a better world that he's been in his tomb these past 2 centuries. I just wish his notebooks, for lack of a better term, had been buried with him and hadn't surfaced from where he'd obviously concealed them on the bowels of his castle. But they had. Thus it was that I found myself seated in the chief librarian's office after an inordinate amount of time had passed, copying by lamplight some of the more intriguingly obscure passages from the books. Thus, All of the subject may be used. The fat for candles, the hand of glory, the fluids to be drained, I was distantly aware of a sudden pang of hunger and the faraway chime of 12, as, to quote Mr. Poe's poem, I pondered weak and weary o'er many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Like that poem's narrator, I nodded nearly napping. But it was not the sound of a tapping at the chamber door which jolted me back to wakefulness. There was another sound, like footfalls, soft, shoeless footsteps. There was another quality to them, a quiet, wet, sucking sound, as if with each step the feet momentarily stuck, congealing to the floor. Roused, I lifted my head. Something was perched on the edge of my desk. Something that moved suddenly as my eyes lit upon it, a scuttling, spidery movement, all joints and angles. Though by the size and its red glisten and moistness, it seemed more like a crab or something else from the depths of the sea. Or from the depths of a nightmare, I realized as I saw the arm that led away from it, sinew and muscle fading back into the darkness beyond the ring of lamplight. I could tell the rest of the figure was there, however, by the glints of teeth and eyes, lipless and lidless. No! Please! Even as I cowered away from it, I could sense that this visitant had no interest in me. It gathered the book from my desk and clasped it to its raw chest. The strange tenderness of this action must have registered through the fog in my mind, as I at once felt a rising wave of nausea and terror that forced me to my feet and away. Truth to tell, my flight from the Midnight Library is lost to memory, as is the remainder of that night, and whether I slept or paced or raved in my rooms, I have no recollection. But I do recall as finding myself surrounded by the greasy remains of every candle in my possession, which littered every available surface in an attempt to banish every shadow from the place. Mr. Harkwell, are you... shouldn't you be resting?
My good fellow, it's you who looks in need of rest.
Well, I could certainly be resting after pushing this blessed wheelchair. Why you couldn't send for the young gentleman with his strong legs instead of having me wheel you this distance?
I did send for him, Martha. The messenger couldn't get a reply. That's why I worried so. Candles. So, you saw him too, did you?
What? Who was it?
Someone who had the misfortune many years ago to encounter Sir Nicholas Hobsgate. You never examined the diagrams in that book before passing it to me, did you?
I scarcely had time for more than the merest glance.
And I am glad that my eyes are failing from what I could perceive. It was more than enough, seeing glimpses of demons and imps and the tortures of hell listed alongside instructions and ingredients as though it were a grisly magician's cookbook. But frightful though these creatures were, the image that lodged in my mind was the diagram of the knife and the victim and the instructions on where to cut and where to peel.
All of the subject may be used. The fat, the hand, the fluids, the skin, for binding enchantments and sealing their powers.
I've read of such practices, of course, who hasn't, in legends and tales of awful and ancient rituals, but to hold an actual example of it in my own hands, it's more than I ever thought possible in all my years in my craft, and more than I would ever wish to again encounter and endure in whatever years I may have left on this earth. That binding that had me so puzzled, well, before my nocturnal guest made his presence known, I'd made my inquiries and I'd had researches done. I know what it is, and that is why I'm glad I've never encountered it before.
And before he had even told me, the image of that wet, red hand came to my mind, and I knew just why this creature sought the book so fiercely.
If it were left to me, I'd put them back, in the dark, where they should have stayed.
But I didn't have to put them back. That night I left the remaining volumes in full view in the open safe, and the door to the office unlocked. I didn't need to wait. I knew the visitant would claim his goal. Indeed, even as I turned back to switch the lights off, I saw some dark form move rapidly between the office and that corner door, and even in the darkness I saw those white, grinning teeth and the heavy bundle it clutched to itself. And I also saw where it was no longer red and raw, where brown and wrinkled skin had been pressed and moulded to the form in rough, ragged patches.
It is a remarkable tale, my friend, though I see why you have chosen not to spread the tale. But the visitant has what he came back for. Can you let fear prey on your mind still?
This isn't fear. Not in the way you mean it. I do not often think of it, though it sometimes forces its way through in my darkest dreams. I do not even know if it lies down there, cocooned in that hollow beneath the cellar floors, or if it has returned to some other unknown grave. I do not know if it lies easy or if it is awake still. I merely know that I do not want to disturb it further. I hope that it has found some peace now and some comfort, that it is at rest now in its own skin.